How's it going, pirates? And welcome to the 10th episode of the Weekly WIP. In today's episode, we're going to focus on custom action figures. I'm going to put one together for you to see just how easy it can be. Let's not waste any time, so let's cue the intro. So here are some of the customs that I made this week. Some are just head swaps, others are repaints, and others still are complete body changes. We'll go through them individually, and one of them I'll actually even do a custom on screen to show you how simple it can be. First up, we have Selena Kyle. She's from the Batman movie. Now, I received her from my trade between galaxies with Zilla's Customs. You can find him on Instagram. Look for the link in the comments down below. And all she needed were a pair of legs. So I gave her some legs. Now she has slightly wider hips, which I don't mind so much. Doesn't look amazing, but doesn't look bad. These legs belong to one of the Valkyrie figures from the Marvel Universe action figures. They're 4-inch line from back in the days. So I used her legs because her torso had broken. So I figured, hey, broken toy, custom toy. So I added them to Selena's body. And now she has wider hips, but she looks fine because now she can stand. That was our first custom of the week. Next up, we have Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. If you follow me on Instagram, you would see she's the latest model on the Thirsty Thrusters cover for issue number 4. This is a combination of 3 different figures. The head is from the more recent Marvel 4-inch action figure line. Didn't like their bodies, so if you see my previous video, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I took the head and I added it to the upper body of one of those maintenance workers from Joy Toy. I believe it's the red suit maintenance workers. So I used the upper body from that. The lower legs belong to a Joy Toy figure that I recently received in one of my shipments, and I really thought the skin tight legs on a guy just didn't look right, so I said in that video that I was going to be using them on a custom, and well, here it is. I thought it was a pretty good fit for Mantis because she has that cute bubbly type of personality. I figured track pants, why not? It's a little bit casual, and you know, the sneakers look really cool on her, and I figured, you know, this is a pretty good look for her. It's fun, but it's still kind of badass because she has her gun on her hip, so you know not to mess around. And it's still Mantis. She could mess you up with just a thought. So yeah, that's our second custom of this week. And here's another figure that I received from my trade between galaxies with Zilla's Customs. This particular one only came with the body, and this is a Marauder Task Force body. And I figured, hey, I need another maintenance worker, so I decided to make an elfin maintenance worker, and I just added a new head to this one. That's a boss fight figure head, and I figured, hey, why not? They're on an elf station, so it only makes sense that there are elfin maintenance workers as well. That was another pretty simple custom, just a head swap. Next up, we have Ferris Cassat. If you don't know who he is, he's the Trandoshan pilot from the video game Star Wars Squadrons. I really like that character, and I figured, hey, why not make one? So he's actually going to be a pilot that's going to be part of the Edgepoint Station security forces, and he'll be the leader of the Y-Wing squadron. So yeah, quite simple, just a repaint of Bosk, the bounty hunter Trandoshan, and I figured, hey, why not? Looks really cool. I really like him. I kind of lightened up his skin a little bit, repainted his flight suit, and I think he came out pretty good. I just have to remember where the heck I put his helmet. Now here is my custom Harley Quinn. Now I received the body itself from my trade between galaxies with Zilla's Customs. She was missing her left hand. Now since I had this action figure in the past, I had an extra set of hands. So I gave her a new left hand. If you guys are wondering, the upper body I used in another custom, now on screen. So I decided to make a Harley Quinn custom. I used a head from a 4-inch Funko action figure, and now that I'm looking at it, it looks like her head's a little bit big. So I have an idea from another action figure that I have that I might use on this one, and you guys can let me know in the comments down below which one you prefer. Personally, I prefer the second one. Well, if I'm being honest, I gotta say, this one looks a lot better. The head's a little bit more proportioned with the body. I just find it looks a little bit more realistic and a little less cartoony than the other head. You guys let me know what you think and what you prefer. Either way, I'm keeping this head, but you guys can let me know which one you prefer. And next up is my Red Orc Mercenary. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. Her backstory will be coming out soon. She was actually quite simple to make, and I'll show you how I made her in a moment.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we're gonna make our custom, our red Merc orc. So here are the pieces that we're gonna use for this particular custom. And it's just a simple custom. So just before I turn the camera on, I actually heated up this figure here so that I can pop her apart. So there's a few things we're gonna be taking off of her because she's gonna kindly donate her legs and her cap to another custom. Now this isn't a bad Fortnite figure, but I don't love it. I love the body, but I'm not crazy about the head, and I want to use the upper body in maybe another custom. Now the arms themselves, there was I guess some glue or something must have gotten inside, so I ended up snapping off this arm. But like I always say, a broken toy is a custom toy. So first things first, now that we've heated her up, what we'll be doing now is just actually taking her apart. So we're just gonna do that. Ugh. Oh my goodness, I heated it up and yet it's still so hard to take off. So let's try that again. There we go. So we just pop that off, and I'll just take her hat off. Now there was some glue on here, but because I heated it up, luckily there wasn't too much glue, so I was able to just peel that off. So we'll actually use this in a different custom. And we'll use her upper body. Boy, she looks weird now. We'll use her upper body in another custom as well. So the next thing to do will be to simply add, sorry for the blurriness, but simply add, it's having a hard time focusing because I have so many things on screen. But we'll simply add this upper body to this lower body here. Now that's just going to pop into place. But before we do that, there's two things we need to do. So I have a belt that I got from another Joy Toy figure, and we'll actually throw that on here like that. I believe that's right side up. Yep. So we'll use that belt in this custom. That's going to be her pistol right here. And what we're going to do now is just add her vest. So first, let's take her head off. And we're just going to slide this vest right over her body, like so. We'll pop her head right back on there. There we go. And now we can just pop her body onto this lower portion here. Oops, sorry for bumping the camera. And that should just pop right into place. Bam, you heard that little snap. That means we're good to go. And there we go. She's essentially done. Now I will be adding some other parts to her. I'm thinking of maybe adding a forearm, gauntlet or gauntlet. I keep saying gauntlet, but it's gauntlet. Be adding a gauntlet to her arm. I still don't know which one I'm going to use yet. And here is her pistol. Actually, I really like this gun. I don't even remember where I got it from. And there we go. She's all done. And if I did everything correctly, you would have seen her completed just prior to me working on her in this portion of the video. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Here's the other custom that hat is going to. And finally, we have my work in progress custom action figure. Can you guess who it is? I'll give you a hint. She was showcased last week in a popular Star Wars show. Can you guess now? I'll give you another hint. How about now? Can you guess who it is? Well, if you haven't, I'll tell you anyways. I'm making my own version of Hera Syndulla. Yes, I know the vintage collection's coming out with one, but I kind of wanted to make a little bit sexier, cooler version of Hera Syndulla. So, you guys remember the delivery that I got just the other day that had those 3 Joy Toy figures, which the legs I used on Mantis? This one, that was the female body, because I already had one, I figured, hey, let's make a custom out of it. And the custom I wanted to make, because I love the jacket, was a Hera Syndulla of my very own. Now, obviously, I still have to paint that head, add her goggles and stuff to her head. So here's a custom speeder bike that I had made a long time ago, but never got around to finishing it because I had lost it. And I was just recently cleaning up my crawl space and I found it behind some boxes. Don't know how the heck it got there, but I found it. Now I tried to turn it on, added a new battery to it, tried to turn it on, and the lights weren't working. So I opened it up and boy, what a mess there was inside. Back in the day, I didn't really do a great job with organizing my wiring, so it's a tangled mess inside there that I'm gonna have to straighten up, organize. And the reason why it stopped working is because the switch, one of the cables from the switch broke off, so I'm gonna have to replace that as well. So that needs to be replaced, and I'm going to add some other pieces. I'm gonna totally rework the front end of the vehicle. I was gonna just keep it like this and add some headlights on the front of it. But now, seeing how the other day I did a speeder custom, I wanted to add that piece that I had found, or that was part of it. I wanted to add this to this particular speeder. So I'm thinking about cutting off some of the front of the speeder. So cutting off some of this here, because as you can see, there's this diagonal shape along the front fairing. And what I'd like to do is actually incorporate this front end as part of that. So I'm hoping the angle will be about the same so that this will be able to slide right into place right underneath this section here. So I'm gonna have to cut some of this off and see if I can get this piece to fit onto the front of this speeder. And then you guys can let me know next week what you think. So I'll try to get some of that done this week. I'll try to repaint and Harrison Dula and give you an update on her next week as well. And I'll also be showcasing something really big that I've been working on, a vehicle that I've been working on. It's going to be a really big vehicle. It's a scratch build as well, so it's not like a custom that I kit bash from something else. Although there are parts from it that are from different toys, overall it's a brand new project that I started and it's scratch built. And you guys can let me know in next week's The Weekly WIP. Until then, I hope you guys have a great morning, afternoon, evening, night, or whatever time of day it is where you are. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, pirates.